Greetings from Crypto Insights, your go-to resource for all things XRP and online banking. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications before we dive into today's shocking disclosures. This will ensure that you are always the first to know when we announce important developments in the worlds of institutional finance and cryptocurrency. Today's topic is more significant than anything we've discussed previously. We're discussing a possible financial coup that could be planned by BlackRock, the biggest asset management in the world, and how their actions could drive XRP to $10,000 while the SEC seems helpless to stop it. This isn't conjecture, rather, there's a tale that's coming from a variety of sources inside Ripple and Wall Street, and it has the potential to change the game. My sources claim that over the past few months, BlackRock has covertly purchased over 2 billion XRP using offshore companies. Because of the intricate cross-border financial instruments and shell companies used to conduct these transactions, it was practically impossible for traditional regulatory agencies to keep track of them. Why? A well-planned increase in XRP before what insiders are referring to as the XRP ETF coup. This is about strategic positioning, not just investment. According to reports, BlackRock plans to take advantage of a legal gap that their top compliance and legal teams found in order to introduce the first XRP-backed ETF in history without needing SEC clearance. With the XRP community keeping an eye on it and regulators diverting their focus elsewhere, the timing couldn't be more ideal. The market is expected to see an unprecedented liquidity and demand shock as a result of this debut. The workings of the loophole are described in the leaked legal study that our team was able to get. It seems that BlackRock can completely avoid the conventional SEC approval process by arranging the fund as a private placement under particular exclusions for eligible institutional investors. This is noteworthy since, historically, the SEC has been the primary barrier to the widespread integration of XRP into conventional financial products. Insiders claim that even the SEC's enforcement departments now recognize that their authority is constrained in this situation, paving the way for the ETF debut. There might be a startling price impact on XRP if everything goes according to plan. According to internal study modeling, the first 48 hours of market activity after the ETF launches might create billions of dollars in demand, which could push XRP into the five-figure level. It's critical to comprehend the reasons for BlackRock's aggressive actions. According to reports, company leaders believe that XRP is in a unique position to serve as the foundation of international institutional liquidity. Instant settlement and the capacity to transfer substantial amounts of wealth effectively are XRP's main uses, in contrast to Ethereum, which is strongly linked to smart contract ecosystems, and Bitcoin, which is primarily speculative. According to BlackRock's own estimates, if regulatory obstacles are reduced or avoided, institutional adoption of XRP may grow to trillions of dollars in total settlement value in a matter of months. The offshore acquisition technique is used in this situation. BlackRock guarantees that it has enough liquidity to support the ETF from day one by pre-positioning billions of XRP in accounts that are not immediately under the scrutiny of US regulators. This sets a floor for the market and, to be honest, significantly raises the possibility of rapid price rise. Public and private opinions of the SEC in action, however, reinforce the story of a Wall Street coup. Major institutions are cautious of direct exposure because of the SEC's active and uneven XRP enforcement over the past few years. The SEC is essentially helpless to stop or postpone this significant institutional action because BlackRock's legal loophole completely gets over the regulatory bottleneck. The business anticipates several more large companies, including Vanguard, Fidelity, and State Street, to follow within weeks of the ETF's launch, according to internal memos that characterize the move as deliberately geared to increase adoption while avoiding regulatory friction. From the standpoint of market mechanics, this coup is genuinely well thought out. According to the strategy paper that was leaked, the acquisition phases are planned to align with worldwide liquidity events and low market opposition. 2 billion XRP were accumulated offshore during the first phase. The second relates to public disclosure and the ETF's launch. Additionally, as other asset managers attempt to imitate BlackRock's approach, the third phase predicts institutional domino consequences. As a result, the XRP market is expected to see a multi-trillion-dollar inflow, causing hitherto unheard-of price pressure. According to the report's first estimates, XRP may increase by almost 2,500% in the first month after the ETF launch, with long-term goals indicating that the token may reach $10,000. The way BlackRock intends to use the ETF as a vehicle for influence in the larger crypto ecosystem is also noteworthy. Through a legally valid quasi-offshore structure, the company successfully introduces XRP to a wide range of institutional investors, establishing it as the default settlement asset for high-value cross-border transactions. This has far-reaching effects that go well beyond price speculation. Since XRP may end up being the favored medium for trillions of dollars in worldwide liquidity, it has the potential to upset the balance of power in global banking. Major financial institutions are already showing that they are eager to include XRP into their settlement infrastructure through Ripple's collaborations in Asia, Europe, and the Middle East. This process would be greatly accelerated by BlackRock's ETF, generating a feedback loop that promotes acceptance, liquidity, and eventually value. The countdown to launch day heightens the sense of urgency. According to sources, all necessary preparations have been finished, including funding custodial accounts, completing legal frameworks, and testing technical integration. According to the material we were given, the launch is intended to be covert in order to prevent anticipatory market reactions that would lessen its impact. The ETF will go online concurrently with the initial public announcement, resulting in an abrupt and significant surge in demand. According to reports, BlackRock analysts believe that the market won't have time to gradually adjust to the liquidity shock, so the initial price movements could be sharp, with repercussions felt in all cryptocurrency marketplaces. The story of the offshore transaction also calls into question the transparency of the market. While BlackRock's legal team is certain that all actions are in compliance with international standards, observers may accuse the company of manipulating supply and demand to manufacture a price spike. Critics contend that market engineering is involved in the timing of the ETF launch and asset buildup. Whatever the argument, the fact is that institutional support, regulatory gaps, and pre-positioned XRP combine to produce a favorable environment for a large price increase. It is impossible to overstate the importance of Ripple in this process. The internal analysis emphasizes how Ripple can facilitate high-volume transactions with real-time settlement and liquidity. In contrast to other cryptocurrencies that struggle with congestion and scalability, BlackRock's team has consistently underlined that XRP is particularly equipped to manage institutional scale flows due to its decentralized ledger and quick transaction speeds. BlackRock guarantees operational dependability and communicates confidence to the market by incorporating Ripple's infrastructure, which strengthens adoption and price momentum. The paper presents a more comprehensive strategic vision that goes beyond the specific mechanics. BlackRock views XRP as a fundamental asset for upcoming financial systems rather than merely a speculative investment. After XRP's market position is solidified, the company expects central banks, international liquidity providers, and other institutional players to start utilizing it as a reserve and settlement asset. This is consistent with current events in the BRICS countries of the Federal Reserve and other financial regulators investigating digital assets for international settlements. BlackRock hopes to establish a whole ecosystem around XRP by getting in early and making it a market-standard liquidity tool, ensuring its supremacy for the ensuing 10 years. According to insiders, the ETF is just the beginning of a comprehensive institutional effort. The underlying implication is far deeper, even though the initial public release will concentrate on investor access and fund mechanisms. For cross-border settlement and institutional liquidity, XRP may emerge as the favored asset. Global markets, monetary policy, and investor strategy are all affected by this. It is crucial for individual investors to comprehend the scope and purpose of this action. We may be seeing the start of a change in the way that capital moves around the world. Lastly, it is impossible to overlook the human factor. Insiders at BlackRock speak of a precise, secretive, and urgent atmosphere. According to reports, executives are well aware that any early disclosure might lessen the launch's impact on pricing, draw regulatory attention, or compromise its efficacy. This careful preparation supports the idea that this is not an easy investment move. It is a well-planned strategic move intended to increase pricing effect, market domination, and institutional adoption. What does this signify then for holders of XRP and market watchers? To put it briefly, it marks a significant change. Together with Ripple's